In at 10, Dormammu. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Although he had been mentioned several times in dialogue along with his realm the Dark Dimension, he only made his first appearance in Strange Tales number 126 and 127 in 1964. While Strange had been battling one-off mystic threats prior to this, Dormammu became a recurring villain for the character and a threat unlike they had ever faced before. He started with a starring role in a 15-issue storyline in Strange Tales number 131 to 146, and has made several appearances in other series like the Avengers, Defenders, Thor, and Hellcat. He also appeared in the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s and can be seen in the Venom saga, where he returns Venom as symbiote and creates Carnage in order to help him escape the Dark Dimension. But thanks to Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Venom teaming up, he was sent back along with Carnage and Venom. He didn't make his silver screen debut until 2016 in Doctor Strange, where he got in an eternal struggle with Strange until he was ready to leave Earth alone. Fun fact, Dormammu was actually mocapped by Cucumber Patch and voiced by a mix of him and another unnamed British actor. And if you don't consider him a demon, you don't remember him being a former Lord of Hell. Yeah, it's a thing. In at 9, NIGHTMERICA. You enjoyed the last time I brought characters in that weren't just from comics, so I figured I'd do the same here with NIGHTMERICA. This female demon ghost is from my favorite childhood show that ended too soon, Danny Phantom, and is a parody of the Nightmare on Elm Street character Freddy Krueger. Originally she was just a movie character inside the Danny Phantom universe, until Danny and Tugger decided to head to another girl's party instead of going to the movies with their best friend Sam like they said. When Sam figures out what happened, she wishes for something to happen to the other girl named Pauline. When the ghost known as Desiree overhears Sam's wish, she brings NIGHTMERICA to life along with 2 other ghosts in order to kill Paulina. She has the typical set of ghost powers: flight, invisibility, intangibility, and possesses supernatural strength, being able to throw someone across the room. She resembles Freddy Krueger but with green hair and claws because she's a ghost, you know? Her only other appearance is in the episode called Phantom Planet, the series finale, where she, spoiler alert, helps in turning the planet intangible to prevent a meteor that ghosts aren't able to touch go through the planet in order for the planet to be saved, since the ghost zone and our world are linked. God, I missed that show. Hashtag go ghost again. And at 8, Mephisto. Based on a demon from the Legend of Faust, Mephisto first appeared in the Silver Surfer number 3 in the Silver Age. The character made his silver screen appearance in 2007's Ghost Rider starring Nicolas Cage. Mephisto has been responsible for many an evil act in the Marvel Universe, including capturing the soul of Doctor Doom's mother, creating the Ghost Rider, which may not be considered evil even though he was posed as Satan, and even was Thanos' servant during the War of the Gems, but instead looking to gain that power for himself. He also managed to capture the soul of the Richards family, including Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, and their son Franklin Richards, who is basically a god. But he's also gone on a date with New Mutants member Magma, because apparently the force that created him also gave him emotions and desires, and we all know what that means. He wants to occasionally do human things. He was also summoned by Superior Spider-Man, Doc Ock inside Peter Parker's body, to get him to stop Spider-Man of Earth 44145. But as Mephisto replies, sorry, that's out of my jurisdiction.
Number 7. Sapna. Sapna became, for a time, Magik's sort of protege. Her mutant powers allowed her to absorb and understand any languages she came into contact with, similar to Cypher. The difference was, at the time when Sapna's powers manifested, she was in Limbo. This led her to absorbing all of the magical knowledge in the Limbo dimension, which granted her additional demonic abilities. As a result, she became a magic user who could control demons and cast spells. Magik even suspected that Sapna was capable of reanimating the dead. Unfortunately, we never got to find out, as Sapna met her demise when the World Eater used her as a host and Magik was forced to kill her, trapping her spirit for a time inside her soul sword.
And at 6, Surtur. Surtur is a fire giant based on Surtur from Norse mythology. Surtur is a native to the land of fire demons whose name I won't even try to pronounce. He first appeared briefly in Journey into Mystery number 97 in 1963, but this was only to set him up, as his first proper appearance was in Journey into Mystery number 99 that same year. The character made his silver screen appearance in Thor Ragnarok, where he was prophesied to be the destruction of Asgard, where Thor just laughs in his face and then takes his crown to the trophy room of Asgard, only to set him loose to fulfill the prophecy in the climax of the movie in order to defeat Hela, the goddess of death, and his sister. But as Korg says, as long as the foundations are strong, we can rebuild this place. But oh no, those foundations are gone. That was a terrible Korg voice, but whatever. The fiery demon stands at over 1,000 feet tall and has power of apocalyptic proportions, surpassing those of Thor. Generating heat or near concussive force is like playing with a baby to him. He has the ability to transform his fingers into serpents, levitate, and travel through dimensions. He is on the same level as Odin, a skilled swordsman and warrior, and that tail is something to marvel. No pun intended. But I guess I left it in the script, so pun intended?
Number 5. Raven. Raven is the daughter of the demon Trigon. Raven was raised in a dimension called Azeroth, and she was taught to control her emotions by Azar. So, she could control by Azar. Later, when she was back on Earth, she found out that her father Trigon was coming for her and prepared to stop him. She went to the Justice League for help, but unfortunately, they refused because Zatanna sensed her demon ancestry and said that, she couldn't be trusted. This led Raven to be one of the founding members of the group known as the Teen Titans. The Titans defeated Trigon, but he wasn't gone for good, they never are, and he was always trying to secretly influence Raven and eventually returned again. Because of her demon heritage, Raven is extremely powerful. Her powers include astral projection, flight, telekinesis, teleportation, empathy, darkness manipulation, and she can cast magic spells.
And at 4, Satan. Lucifer Morningstar is one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe. While DC has had various depictions of the fallen angel, this interpretation debuted in The Sandman Volume 2 number 4 in 1989. The later Lucifer spin-off would have him adventuring on Earth, Heaven, and other realms of his family's creation and in uncreated voids after abandoning Hell in The Sandman. He would also later appear in The Demon, The Spectre, and other DC comics. After his abandoning of Hell, others have taken his place. 2 angels, for example, even a human, and somehow even Superman had a brief rule over Hell. Lucifer made his first on-screen appearance in the Constantine film in 2005, but more recently in the Lucifer show, where he has made an appearance as the devil in the CW crossover event Crisis on Infinite Earths, where he grants Constantine, John Diggle, and Mia Smoke Queen, Oliver Queen's daughter from the future, the ability to go into purgatory and retrieve Oliver's soul to return it to his body after his death. This also confirmed that the series takes place on Earth 666, which if it hadn't have, I would have been livid and I would have started a riot, just saying.
Number 3. Azazel. Azazel is a very powerful mutant. He even claims to have competed for the title of Satan, battling Mephisto and other demonic beings for it. Azazel mated with humans in an attempt to create offspring that would help him and his army to escape the hell dimension that they were trapped in, using his children as a gateway to bring them through to Earth. He himself could teleport to Earth for periods of time due to his insanely strong teleportation powers. His affair with Mystique, who was married at the time, brought about baby Nightcrawler, and Mystique actually may have been the only Earthling that he ever truly cared for / maybe even loved. His powers include immortality, teleportation, in fact it has been said that he is one of the most powerful teleporters to ever exist, the ability to physically influence one's will, and the ability to metamorph.
Penultimately at number 2, Lord Loss. Doing something a little different here. Lord Loss is a demon master and main antagonist of the book series The Demonata by Darren Shan. These books are incredible, and if you like demons, which you clearly do because you're still watching this, I highly suggest you read it. These books were everything to me from grade 10 onwards. Anyway, he is the only character to appear in all 10 books of the series, not necessarily present, but he's at least mentioned, and his appearance is that of nightmares. Pale red lumpy skin covers his body with 8 mangled arms and no heart, instead a hole filled with tiny venomous snakes. He has dark red eyes and even darker pupils. He doesn't walk. He floats above the ground with strips of bloody flesh hanging from where his feet should be. His skin is cracked all over and blood seeps through these cracks. He enjoys chess, even plays it for sport with humans who are infected with lycanthropy. If they win, he will cure one member of the family, but if they lose, he will torture them for very long periods of time due to the fact that he feeds on the suffering of humans, therefore isn't interested in mindless killing like other demons. At first I pictured this demon wearing a suit. I don't know why, I just wanted to. But ever since seeing drawings of the character, I'm surprised I wasn't scared to death by these books. They're incredible. My favorite 2 are the 2nd and 3rd, Demon Thief and Slaughter. Again, highly suggest you read these books because they're amazing and extremely well written. God, do it. Finally, in at number 1, SHUMA-GORATH. SHUMA-GORATH's first appearance was in Marvel Premiere number 5 in 1972. His name was taken from the short story The Curse of the Golden Skull by Robert E. Howard, which features a dying magician invoking the iron-bound books of SHUMA-GORATH in a curse against humanity. Fun! His powers include energy projection, reality manipulation, shape-shifting, levitation, teleportation, magical powers, and immortality. With the amount of people with immortality on this list, we could make a whole other list about demons who can't die. SHUMA-GORATH is one of the most powerful ancient demons to ever exist. Even Dormammu and Mephisto have said he is superior to them. The demon has unmatched power and was even once the ruler of Earth, until a time-traveling sorcerer managed to banish him. He even managed to beat Doctor Strange, causing him to kill the Ancient One. This ultra-powerful demon has rarely been defeated, and that is definitely deserving of the #1 spot.
At number 10, Lady Death. Lady Death was originally a mortal named Hope, who decided to make a deal with a demon so she wouldn't be burned at the stake. She then became a powerful queen of hell, although if you thought she'd be evil because of that, you would be wrong. Hope instead became a hero of sorts. Also, if you didn't guess, she became extremely powerful. Her powers include telekinesis, weather control, flight, spell casting, necromancy, teleportation, and, she's basically invulnerable. Number 9, Etrigan the Demon. Etrigan is a demon who is bound to the human Jason blood. He was summoned by Merlin, who was trying to learn all of his, demon secrets. But when he couldn't, he just decided to bond the demon with a human, Jason Blood. Now, bonded with a demon, Jason became immortal and now lives in the modern era. Even though the two have clashed over the years, they decided to use their partnership to fight for the side of good. Although, Jason, and Etrigan have been known to dabble with the dark side every now and again. Of course, because he's a demon, he's very enhanced with strength, speed, hellfire projection, sorcery, immortality, and all that fun stuff. Number 8. Blue Devil. Dan Cassidy was the stuntman and special effects artist and got hired to play the main character in a movie called Blue Devil. He was tasked with creating an outfit for the character. It was made out of Kevlar, so it was really strong and durable, but the movie required, you guessed it, a lot of stunts. During the shoot, Dan was in the suit doing a scene when they accidentally released a real demon, and, eventually they managed to send the demon back to where it came from, but not before it shot a blast of demonic energy. After trying to, take the suit off, he realized it was now permanently part of him. Not officially a demon at first, Dan actually became one later after being defeated by Neuron in Hell. Dan later decided to use his powers to help people, and his powers include strength, speed, durability, healing, and enhanced senses.
And at 7, Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Pennywise, also known as It, is the main antagonist of Stephen King's novel It. Pennywise is a form of ancient cosmic evil that is also considered a demon by many, that preys on the children of Derry, Maine, since they're the only ones who can see him, roughly every 27 years or so. He has a wide array of powers, including but not limited to shape-shifting, going unnoticed by adults, bending reality, teleportation, and manipulation of objects and humans. In the novel, he starts his killing spree by taking the life of Georgie, the younger brother of protagonist Bill. The character is always watching his prey, appearing several times in the background of both parts of the new movies. Pennywise was created when King asked himself what scares children the most, the answer being clowns. So he created one who was similar to the troll in the Children's Tale 3 Billy Goat's Gruff, but who inhabited a sewer system. There is no other explanation needed for this character, as I'm sure we all know who Pennywise is, and he definitely deserves to be on this list. He's definitely a demon.
Number 6. Lucifer Morningstar. Okay, so Lucifer isn't really like a superhero, more of an anti-hero. And he doesn't always do good things, but, he has, and that's why he's on the list. Lucifer was an angel who rebelled against the kingdom of heaven and was sent to rule hell by the presence. He ruled there for billions of years until one day he just became bored with it and decided to leave hell and move to Los Angeles. He went on to run a piano bar called Lux. But, being the ruler of hell for over 10 billion years, you make a lot of enemies. So people will decide to come after him, and he needs to fend them off. Being the devil gives him numerous abilities, including flight, hellfire, manipulation, healing, strength, and he's immortal, so.
Number 5, Sabretooth. While Sabretooth might not be more powerful than some of the mutants previously listed, he is still alive and still has his powers, albeit he is in exile right now. During the Weapon X series from 2017, Sabretooth found himself tied to the demonic world after he sacrificed himself to save his son Graydon from hell. I know, weird, right? What a weird time to become tied to demons, but let's talk about that. Victor had gone to hell to trade his soul for his son's, and as such he was reverted to a base animalistic state and was set free from the dimension by Marduk, who confessed that he would not enjoy torturing Sabretooth in hell, both while he was not competent enough to understand it, because he was all like animalistic, and while he had just earned such torture through a noble deed, as opposed to a series of bad ones. Marduk was like, why can't you just be terrible? I want you to be terrible again. So Marduk then allowed him to be resurrected, setting him out into the world once more, but now free of the conscience that we'd seen Sabretooth build throughout the last few arcs he'd had in the comics, trying to redeem himself. Kind of had like a heroic Sabretooth almost coming, but nope, he's gone. So now he's back, he's bad, and he's on a road back to hell. Hence him being a bad guy again. Sad. I kinda miss good guy Sabretooth. Do you guys miss good guy Sabretooth? Probably not. Let me know in the comments.
Number 4, Constantine. Okay, so while he's not technically a full demon, he did have demon blood flowing through him for a very long time, so that's why he's on the list. And that's probably why he's not number 1. If he was like a full demon, he would be number 1 because he's just awesome. John Constantine, and yes, I know technically it's pronounced Constantine in the original source material. The pronunciation of Constantine has become way more popular, and it's been used for almost all of his live action and animated appearances, so I'm just using that, and also it just sounds so much cooler. Constantine, Constantine, like come on. Okay, so John Constantine is a magic using con man. He was born in Liverpool and grew up in London. His mother died during childbirth, and his father blamed him for it. John is master of the dark arts, having practiced his whole life. He can cast spells, summon demons, travel to different dimensions, and all of that fun stuff. He also smokes, like a lot. And he says whatever he wants, which tends to make a lot of people hate him. But that's why we love him.
And at 3, Blackheart. The technical son of Mephisto, Blackheart was under his father's tutelage when he learned what not to do, and that he should be doing it anyway. He even took on the Daredevil and Spider-Man but failed to corrupt them. But Blackheart wasn't happy being a prince of hell. He decided he wished to overthrow his father. So in an attempt to get help in doing so, he led Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Wolverine to Christ's Town in an attempt to corrupt them. The 3 heroes ended up following Blackheart into his dimension for a final confrontation, where Blackheart pitched the idea. He first appeared in Daredevil number 270 in 1989 and has some pretty dope powers, including superhuman strength, speed, durability, telekinesis, telepathy, levitation, interdimensional teleportation, size alteration, regenerative healing, energy generation, soul capturing, which allows him to take the soul without needing permission, which is wrong. Coming from a ginger, always take souls with consent. He also has mind control, immortality, and penance stare immunity, so Ghost Rider can't really do that much to Blackheart. Jesus, this guy's pretty damn powerful. But again, take souls with consent.
Number 2, Hellboy. Hellboy was found as a baby in 1944 by US soldiers. He was then later raised by Professor Trevor Brutenholm, and as he got older, he went to work for the BPRD, the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense. Since then, he has devoted his life to fight the paranormal. It was also later revealed that he was born to actually summon the apocalypse, but, you know, he had other plans. And due to his demon heritage, Hellboy is a lot stronger than the average human. He has enhanced strength, accelerated healing, and he ages really slowly. Plus, he also has his trusty right hand of doom, which can do an insane amount of damage, and his handgun, the Good Samaritan. And number 1, Ghost Rider. Oh, Ghost Rider, the spirit of vengeance. He has been linked to multiple people throughout the years, but today I'm going to talk about the most famous one, Johnny Blaze. Johnny Blaze was a motorcycle stuntman who ended up making you guessed it, a deal with Mephisto to save his surrogate father, Crash Simpson, from dying of cancer. Man, people need to stop making deals with demons and devils. It always goes badly. Always. Mephisto cured Crash and told Johnny that one day he would come back and collect. Later on, Crash attempted an insane motorcycle stunt, trying to jump over 22 cars. Crash died attempting the stunt. After that, Mephisto showed up to collect what he was owed. Johnny then was like, hey, why'd you double cross me? And Mephisto was like, no, I cured your surrogate father of cancer, and that was the deal. Because of the deal, Johnny Blaze now becomes the Ghost Rider. Every night, he would transform and punish the wicked. When he transforms, he becomes one of the most powerful heroes in the Marvel Universe. His powers include super strength, stamina, durability, healing, hellfire manipulation, and the penance stare, which is when he makes someone stare into his eyes and makes them experience all the pain that they have ever caused to someone else. Creepy.
Number 10, Ophis. Ophis was a large, frightening, demonic mutant also belonging to the Nephilim. He had an insane level of strength and durability. If Yggdrasil was the dark opposite of Angel, then Ophis was the dark opposite to Wolverine, which is saying something about just how dark and demonic he was, as Logan himself is a pretty dark side. As such, in the battle with X-Men, Ophis ended up torturing a captured Wolverine, but during the destruction of Azazel's castle, he ended up getting an arm free, and well, that was kind of the end of Ophis, because you know, snicked. You know how it goes. Literally the next panel, just Wolverine. Snicked. He dead. Claws to the head. What a way to go. Number 9, Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil was part of Azazel's army, a member of the Nephilim. The Nephilim are basically demonic mutants, so expect to maybe see a few more of their numbers on this list, other than Ophis and Yggdrasil. After Azazel and the other Nephim were exiled to the Brimstone Dimension following a feud with the Chearaphim, basically the opposite of the Nephim, angelic mutants, they plotted to one day escape their hellish dimension. They even temporarily succeeded and were fought against by the X-Men. Angel was captured in the fight and given to Yggdrasil to torture, but was saved when Yggdrasil was killed. Yggdrasil, like Angel, also had wings and could fly. He was also superhumanly strong and dexterous. Ooh la la. Number 8. KIWI Black. KIWI Black is Nightcrawler's half-brother. He is the son of Azazel and likely an indigenous Polynesian woman from New Zealand, as he is part Maori. He was depowered on M-Day, which is why he takes one of the bottom spots, but when he did have powers, they were pretty neat. He could channel bioenergy and use it to increase his strength, or channel it through other beings via touch to disrupt their powers or cause their organs to malfunction. He could also channel this energy through natural surroundings in order to alter it. For example, smashing craters in the ground, or using his powers to cause rock formations to appear shooting up out of the ground. Originally, KIWI Black worked along Azazel, helping him to try and free his army from the dimension that they were trapped in and transport them to Earth. However, after surviving a sacrificial ritual, he ended up rebelling and instead allied himself with the X-Men. That's what happens when you find out your dad's trying to use you as a gateway. Dang. Time to join the good guys, I guess.
Number 7. Damien HELLSTROM. Known as the hero HELLSTROM, he is the son of Victoria HELLSTROM and the demon lord Satan. The HELLSTROM family had a long history of worshipping the devil, and eventually Victoria took that to the next level and actually had a child with Satan. Victoria ran a cult called the Chapel of Dresden, whose goal was to have a demonic child who would eventually take over the earth. At first it looked like Damien lived a fairly normal life, but he really didn't. Like, instead of feeding him normal baby formula as a kid, his mom fed him human blood. His mother was later placed in an insane asylum, and Damien and his sister were separated and raised by different families. It was only as he got older and his mother passed away that Damien found out about his real father. Damien eventually began to harness his abilities and became one of the most powerful magic users in the Marvel Universe. Doctor Strange even thought of passing the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme onto him once. He eventually took on the name of HELLSTROM and became the ruler of Hell, but still fights for the good side. His powers include strength, spellcasting, durability, and he can cast Hellfire from his trident.
Number 6. NILS STYGER. STYGER is known by the codename of Abyss. STYGER? Stigger? Which one is it? He is also half-brother of Nightcrawler, on his father's side, meaning that he is also the son of Azazel. His powers allow him to unravel his body, which is made of wrappings. Yeah, if you've ever wondered what a mutant mummy would be like, this is pretty much it. He can use his wrappings to defend himself and attack with them, and when wrapped up, his body is made more durable by his wrappings. Like his half-brother, he also shares a link to the Brimstone Dimension. In the center of his chest, underneath his wrappings, is a dark void that when revealed acts like a black hole, so he can use it to suck in enemies, transporting and trapping them in the Brimstone Dimension for as long as Abyss sees fit. NILS can also absorb fear energy and use it to power himself. Unfortunately, he was depowered during M-Day, then repowered by the Terrigen Mist, but only to be depowered again later. Yeesh!
And at 5, Azazel. There are multiple Azazels that can be considered supervillains. There is the Marvel version, who first appeared in Uncanny X-Men number 428, who is the father to Nightcrawler, who is the member of the, sorry if I butcher this, Nephim, an ancient race of demonic mutants who were at constant war with their angelic counterparts. Azazel was in fact their leader, and has the powers of teleportation, shapeshifting, superhuman agility, night vision and an advanced healing factor, immortality, telepathy, hypnosis, dark arts mastery, and sword combat mastery. These are incredible abilities, but if you're looking for a literal demon, look no further than the television show Supernatural. At first referred to as Yellow Eyes or the Yellow-Eyed Demon, Azazel is literally a demon and is the reason the whole show began. This demon killed the main character's mother, hence why the family started hunting the supernatural. Oh, I get it. He also ended up killing Sam's girlfriend, causing him to join Jean on his hunt to find their father. He was the driving force behind the first 2 seasons of the show, spoiler alert, meeting his end in the season 2 finale with the use of the Colt, a specially designed gun to kill anything with the use of special bullets, which was the only weapon they had to kill demons at that point.
Number 4. Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler has all sorts of demonic ties. Firstly, he is the son of Azazel, who had a thing with his biological mother Mystique while she was married to Baron Christian Wagner. When Kurt was being born, Mystique lost momentary control of her powers while in labor, revealing to everyone her true nature. Because of baby Kurt's demonic form and Mystique's reveal of her ability to shapeshift, the two were chased down by an angry mob. During their fight, Mystique lost consciousness and lost baby Kurt in the process. Nightcrawler would go on to be taken in by Romani sorceress Margali Sardos. His teleportation powers link him to the Brimstone dimension, which he uses as a stepping stone to transport himself wherever he so chooses with his teleportation powers. The Brimstone dimension basically acts as a through point for Kurt, leaving a puff of smoke behind every time he uses it that smells of burnt brimstone. Bam! That's his teleportation sound. Bam!
Number 3. Spawn. Spawn, originally known as Al Simmons, was a highly trained soldier. He worked for the United States Marine Corps, the Secret Service, and the CIA. And while on a mission for the CIA, Al was murdered by his friend Bruce. And who gave the order? Well, it was none other than the CIA director Jason Wynn. Then Al got sent to hell because, he killed a lot of people over his time, and decided, hey, I'm gonna make a deal so I can go up and see my wife again, Wanda. Well, of course, things don't go exactly as planned when you make a deal in hell. So he returns to Earth, but now as a hell spawn. He doesn't really remember a lot, and he looks completely different. He does eventually manage to remember his wife, and he goes to see her. Turns out 5 years have passed, and she's remarried and has a kid. So now he's just forced to do the bidding of a demon from hell. He goes after really dangerous people and other supernatural creatures. His powers include strength, durability, and his symbiotic suit, which protects him.
Number 2. Madeline Pryor. Madeline Pryor is ranking high on this list because there's a good chance that she could be Omega level. Maddie was the clone of Jean Grey, one of the most powerful mutants that we know of currently. While she doesn't do it often, Pryor actually has the ability to warp reality. She is also virtually immortal, as whenever she is killed, although her physical form ceases to exist, she herself simply reverts to a psionic energy form due to her ties with the Phoenix Force. This is why Nate Gray was able to actually bring her back to life. When it comes to her demonic ties, Madeline is a magic user and sorceress who once made pacts with demons. That's actually how she got those powers, becoming the Goblin Queen. She has also used those ties to summon demonic creatures and get them to do her bidding. Number 1. Magik. Ilyana Rasputin was kidnapped when she was just a little girl by Belasco and taken to Limbo. While there, she was given tons of power by Belasco, but Belasco was also controlling of her and pretty much a big creep the entire time. He put part of her soul into a bloodstone to solidify his control over her. Despite this, eventually Magik would train and rise up against him using some of her life force to craft her now famous soul sword and overthrow Belasco, later becoming the new ruler of Limbo. She even made the demon Sim her loyal servant for a while. Though being a slippery demon, he would eventually betray her. Unsurprisingly, that's such a Sim thing to do, you know what I mean?